Alright, wife's asleep, kids are asleep, let's play some video games. My name is not John Smith and today we're playing Timberborn. Welcome back to Beaverome. In the last episode we again played around with the aqueduct, with trying to get the overflow ratio perfect. This episode I'm gonna do something else for the sake of variety and so that I'm not going to lose my sanity. And because, well, it's now, I think it was 3 episodes that I worked on the aqueduct, I just want to do something else. But, there were comments again, some very helpful with a few tricks and tips. A lot of comments again where you are, well, not happy with my design choices. And I promise I will think about redoing a lot of things here. Following your suggestions, and well, your some of you guys are getting annoyed already because I haven't done what you said. That's fine. I'm gonna, well, just a few things. First of all, this was never designed to have an extra overflow or to reuse the bad water level as overflow level for the amount of good water or for the overflow of good water that we have. So, well, it was never planned for that, and I'm now using it for that. So this is why things are like they are. Basically also the fact that we have the bad water on top of the good water. I know that, well, you wouldn't do that in real life, would you? The main reason for that is this irrigation level uses the uses this part of the reservoir from here upwards. Just via gravity. If we change that around, and if this on top here is the irrigation level, we can only use the aqueduct from here upwards, the reservoir from here upwards, which would just be not even close to be enough for going through a dry season. Now we have those things that work for the whole, not even the whole reservoir. I think that's the only thing that works for the whole of the reservoir. So this area would get filled with water, but in order to get the effect that this aqueduct actually uses the water from in here, you have to somewhat lower the intake from the reservoir to the aqueduct. That's why we have this level. Now, given that we have already started to build pumps here, which bring the good water from here back to the irrigation level, we could obviously do the same in there and pump the water from the lowest point in the reservoir to the upper part of the aqueduct. I may do that in the future. I don't promise anything. Maybe we'll change that around so that the good water is on top and the bad water is below. And while we're at it, then we can also maybe change some other things here. Obviously, gameplay-wise, you could do better things, more efficient things here. If we closed those aqueducts off and made them into a pipe, we wouldn't have to worry about overflow. We could put much more water through there. I know, but this is obviously built to look nice, or so that I think that it looks nice. And I want to see the water in there. That's why I'm not closing it off. That's also the reason why I don't put a second layer of levees on top of that, because I think it wouldn't look nice. I've designed that before thinking about the need that we need to get more water through there. Again, I'm willing to think about that in the future. But for now, we've spent a lot of time on the aqueduct now in the last episodes, and I'm just gonna leave it as is for now. This episode, we will tackle something else. Whoop. Remember that over here. As I said, this thing brings the overflow water from this lake via a pipe to the irrigation level back again, and this looks not so good, so we are trying to cover that. And we are going to build our first world wonder here, the Colossus of Beaverome. Name work in progress. So yeah, this will be probably a very long time lapse. Just bear with me. Let's do it. Hello there! What's happening? Voiceover, yes! I'm doing a voiceover because this is a 13-minute time-lapse. So I thought I'd talk you through what I'm doing. We're starting here with a foundation level or base for our monument or world wonder. Little time skip because I had to rip out a whole lot of things. I'm now extending the base here, and what you already can see here, the 3 pieces of dams, that's going to be 1 foot. And the other foot is going to be where we now have the pipes, the pumps. Basically, when we are working here with, 2 colors, that's 1 color is levee, 1 color is dams. You obviously also have some other things available. Sluices, which I'm going to use very sparingly, and, the empty space beneath an overhang or a platform, you could also say that that's a quote-unquote color. We're now working on the tail of the beaver, as you can see here, built out of dams, with a couple of overhangs, obviously. And this is a foot over there, out of dams, and the body is mainly levees. It was quite some fiddling around, trying to design where to end, the limbs, so the feet and the hands or the arms, and where to start the body, and how to build a beaver out of blocks with not so many options to design stuff. So we now have 1 tiny arm here on one side. I was waiting to build the other side, which is obviously more complicated because we have the pumps there, and I was trying to design the thing from the half of it, or 2/3 of it. Here I'm playing around with building the face, which was quite difficult. You can see the sluices, they are used for the teeth. And we have a very square head here. The arm is also still quite tiny. Later on we are going to work on that, so it's a bit bigger. Also the feet are going to be a bit bigger than they are now. Ooh, some quite fast camera movement there. The eyes are 2 lanterns. But yeah, I was still playing around with the shape of the head. I was not happy with that, or the shape of the face rather. I wanted it to stick out a little bit from the body, but not too much, so that it wouldn't get too complicated with the overhangs. It was some playing around. Starting to design the ear now, which was, well, it looks like a bunny right now. So I think I moved it down a bit, yeah. The whole thing does look a bit like a teddy bear, but, well, can't do anything about that. That's just because we have only blocks available to us. I was thinking about cutting off the edges, but it didn't look nice, so it's a very square building, or, structure. And now I was trying to work on the part of the statue that actually covers or tries to hide the pumping system. This was really complicated because I didn't want to make the statue even bigger than it is now, so that everything could be hidden. And my previous, the previous attempt which, you know, at the beginning of this time lapse, there was a small cut. I tried to incorporate the pump into the body of the beaver, but then the whole statue would have been way too big. So the pumps are now, well, more or less hidden in a foot, and I guess the one side of the body. Staircase was now finally in the way, so I'm removing it, doing some more backfilling with dirt back there, and fast camera movements again, sorry about that. We're working on you can see the shoulder area there, and then the side of the head with the other ear. And I was starting to get more confident, or to become more confident, that this would turn out quite nice. Still looks like a teddy bear, so I decided to redo the face area again, because something was off with the mouth and the teeth, in my opinion. So I decided to remove the lower parts where there's dams between the teeth. Which was necessary, I think. And then well, the first design was finished, so I worked on some detailing. I made the feet bigger. And then I thought about what we could do here to hide the power connections even better, and so I decided to redo them. And also, I think I'm gonna rip out one pump in a second in order to hide the power connections beneath it. Obviously, if I had planned all this beforehand, then it wouldn't have been so much, you know, rebuilding and ripping out again. But it's just not really possible to plan all those things ahead. I wish there was a way to have to replace some parts without having to rip everything out on top of it, but well, obviously that's not happening. So yeah, that's very fast camera movements here, fixing the power connection. And then I decided to redo the arm area, or the right arm area. This is where I decided that both arms don't have to, you know, be in the same position or posture, don't have to look the same. Was still working on those overhangs where we can hide the pump inside of the foot. And yeah, having made the decision that the foot is now 4 tiles wide, it gave me the opportunity to be able to hide more of the pump inside of it. This is too fast, I'm sorry, but here is where I decide to make the arm bigger, and I'm ripping it out even once again, because I then thought it would be nice if the beaver would hold something in his arm. You'll see that in a second once I have rebuilt the face here, or the side of the head. There we go, again ripping everything out, making the arm or the hand even bigger. And first I thought the beaver could hold something in his flat hand. But then I had the idea of giving him a staff. And that's again built out of sluices. With the sluices it's a bit difficult because you can't build something where the exit of the sluice is. So I had to rotate them around, and I decided to make the top of the staff a bit bigger and use the platform there. And once again we're redoing the hand so that the beaver really grabs the staff. And then I was also thinking about making the other arm bigger because it, well, kind of looked really tiny now in comparison. So I played around with that. But you can already see the more or less final shape of the beaver statue. And I'm, well, quite happy with what we got there. Obviously it's not perfect, but with the limitations given and the limitations of my creativity, I'm not unhappy. Now we're just gonna build some, well, close the head so that it's not a giant hole, and then I'm making the tail a bit broader. And then I was starting to think about how do we actually build this. So I was trying to find a way, you know, to, well, have the beavers access the inside of this statue, which was more difficult than I thought, because on this side we had the power connections. On the other side I have built so many solid blocks and I didn't want to rip everything out again. So I decided to remove one bit of the back part of the statue where we only had the tail, which could be rebuilt quite easily, and made an access there and built a staircase inside of the statue. And now we have a tiny opening there at the back of his head, and I think it doesn't even look too bad with the overhang in the middle of his head up there. This is just for power connection, rebuilding, and yeah, there we are back from the time lapse. So actually put this thing on triple speed now, because now I have decided that we are going to build that. We need more building materials here. Oh, we still have that from building this thing down there. So metal is fine. Planks, well, they've probably started to use them already. We need more logs. Yeah, we should probably get help from another district as well. This is now officially ancient Greece. We could get some help here from ancient Beaverome. So let's do that by building a path. Rip out the trees. Those are in our way. We can now build the power connection here. So this will be an upward power shaft and a downward power shaft. And then let's move that over there. And then upward shaft again. Once more up. Yeah. We can still change that. The whole thing here. Should we want to in the future? Not sure. This is not the highest priority now to make that look perfect. Is this connected? Path is connected. We have those paths over there. We probably need something so that they can... Well, I can just connect it over here, so it's fine. how would I even connect that? Let's see. We'll see how far they can reach from here. They will be able to build something, right? I could also just build some weird access thingy for them. Oh no, this can't. This doesn't work. Must not connect the paths. So, okay. Ancient Beaverome can go up till here and help building. Probably want to prioritize the dirt here. Oh, I probably want to prioritize all the dirt. Because they have to start from the inside. To put it down. Yeah, okay. In Ancient Beaverome we have 9 beavers without a job. More builders or more haulers? Let's do more haulers. One hauling post. There we go. Hold on, more workers in there. Okay, so now. Oh, there was said that belongs. Now, Ancient Greece should be working from this path. Ancient Beaverome should help from this path. Can we get Beaverome to help as well? That's probably way too far away. Beaverome ends here. No, there's no way to go over there, right? That would be way too complicated. I'm gonna build a couple more houses here in Ancient Beaverome. Yeah, not bad. I'm okay with that. Fine, that's some more houses. Yeah. Let's give them a lantern over here. Sure. Okay. This should mean we'd have even more beavers. More haulers or more builders now? This is getting filled with logs. It's going to be more builders. Okay, let's see. Do we need to change priorities for our undertaking here? Obviously, we'll need to build some scaffolding bridges on top here later on. I don't think... Well, I'm not sure how many will be necessary, so I'm not going to add them right now. They have laid down all the dirt that is needed to be able to access the inner thing here. Maybe I should prioritize the inner staircase. I think that would be reasonable. And I think it would also be not the worst idea to prioritize the power connection and the pump, so that the pumping system is online back soonish. If they can even do that. I don't think that they can do that quickly. No, they can't access that even. So this is going to take a while till they can build that again. Okay, never mind. We can do some more detailing around the area once this is done. We also obviously need to think about how to make this mountain look nice again, because that's quite some rough edges here now. But I'll wait with that. All planks are gone. We do have 5,000 planks in this district. I think the problem is that we don't have enough haulers here. We can get some more living beavers in this district. Why not? And I kind of have to make that a higher priority. Because otherwise they'd only build the... Well, yeah, we couldn't use the extra workforce if that's built after the monument, right? Okay, they're coming along. I think it was a really good idea to have ancient Beaveromans help, because they are providing a whole lot of materials and workforce. They've started to build the staircase here and also the levees. Earthworks are also coming along. Yep. So what do I now do in the meantime? You know what? We're still quite low on maple syrup, even though we have now this area here. And also on pine resin. I think what I'm going to do is work on this edge here in Beaverome. We still need to irrigate this bit, and then I could plant more pine trees and maple trees here to gather more maple syrup and pine resin. I'm gonna do that while we're waiting for the Colossus to be built. Yeah, I think we'll bring some more water from over here to try to irrigate this bit. I'll do that in a time lapse as well. Okay, well, we'll see how this turns out. Once they've finished building the levees and the dirt here, we can let some water through to irrigate, hopefully the whole corner here. Yeah, let's focus our attention back on the Colossus. What's your problem? Oh, you have nothing to do in range. That was a temporary woodcutter. I think we can build one set of wooden stairs here and cut down the other trees, and that would still gain us more trees. More logs. Because logs are needed and I don't want to waste the trees here, destroy them. I mean, we do have 11,000 pieces of wood on the map, but they have to be brought here, so yeah. This is starting to look like something. They were able to do quite a lot here. Well, that's basically everything that they could do from below, right? I think the ancient Beaveromans have run out of work. Is that possible? Let's extend the path here. Maybe you can now do something else. I mean, I could even extend the dirt here a bit more. We still want to... we'll probably want to do that in the future anyway, so... Let's just do it. And now this should be waterproof, so I can set this sluice to automatically open. Which should irrigate this corner of the map. We're obviously losing a lot of water to evaporation here, but water is not a problem anymore. And this should theoretically stop as soon as it's halfway full. Okay, irrigation is not quite reaching every corner of the map. I think we're fine with that. I've let the foresters plant down some maple trees first, and then I'm gonna go over it with pine trees. And probably a bit more maple trees even. We don't have a forester for this bit. Okay, another forester is in. We'll see. We do have 15 extra beavers in ancient Beaverome. Do I want to build another hauling post? Sure. Hail construction has officially begun. Also, staircase is coming along. Okay, some things are starting to take shape. They finished, well, this foot here, this part of the foot, starting to work on the arm over there. Staircase is also going up, so that's something. I've added another scaffolding for our, you know, ancient Beaveroman builders to help here. Yeah. So... well, again, this will still take a while, but we are moving forward. I also think that this part of ancient Beaverome is looking quite nice right now. The extra housing and, you know, the variety here. I kind of like it. The only problem is that the poor guys always have, you know, the big shadow of the aqueduct. But I guess they'd be used to it. Yeah, sure. Beaverome over here is also coming along. We've planted down the maple trees. I've left the the other stuff in between empty for now, because I'll then, you know, go over with the you know, brush, so to say, and plant pine trees there. So yeah, a bit longer, and then this will also be ready. Okay, the staircase has now reached quite the height, so that they are able to rebuild the power connection to this thing. We should actually then always also be able to rebuild the other pump, right? Oh no, we have a stranded bot there. Sorry. Yeah, we can't reach that quite yet. Okay. Oh no, got some stranded beavers here. Where are you guys from? How did you manage to do that? How do I get you out? Operation Rescue the Stranded Beavers. I'm sorry for this bot, but that's not going to happen. Okay, rescued them. Very good. Very nice. This is now useless again, is it? No, it's not. They can still build this one piece. Oh, and they can also build the pump from there, which is what just happened, right? So, pumping system operational again? No. This is not powered. Don't tell me I made a mistake. Oh, come on. Oh no. Oh no, this is not powered. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. That's just below this foot. We can work something out here. Oh, I completely forgot to hook that up again. I can't rip this out, because that's the hand. I'm not gonna rebuild the hand. I could rip those three things out and dynamite down here and hook that up somewhere there. Oh no, how did I miss that? Come on. Yeah, we'll just dynamite down here and hook it up right there, right? Or could I even attach it to this thing? I mean, this should work, right? That said, just if I can remove this bit without... No, that would require me to rebuild the whole structure again, and I'm not going to do that. So I need to remove this. That was just those dams. That's okay. Which means I need to remove this. because I want to keep that underground, right? So dynamite here. Upper shaft. Turn. Cover everything up. 1, 2, 3 bits of them on top of that again. Right, it was 3 bits, yes. Probably need to rebuild those stairs. And dynamite this bit as well. That's not... I mean, yeah, we can maybe make that look nicer in the future, can we? We could, with the next update, cover it up with dirt or something. Maybe. But now this will do. Connection here. Okay, so that's now... That should now work. And now do I need to rebuild those... this scaffolding? I don't think that helps anymore. There's almost down to the top, so that's something. Oh, now the pumping thing is working again. So we have at least re-established that for now. Another stranded bot over there by the tail. Really sorry about that. So yeah, pumping is working. And we're in the middle of a dry season, so that's needed. Yeah, we need to fill the pipe back up again, I guess. But the situation is okay. This new forest is growing, so that's also coming along. Yeah, just a bit more waiting. Some other good news. We are we're through more than half of the dry season. And our now enormous gravity batteries here still have more than half of the charge. So we may get through the dry season here without being out of power. Also maybe because I paused quite a lot of those machines here in ancient Greece. We don't need them, we're full with resources. And I need the workforce to help with building this great monument. Yes. So I guess pausing all those things does help. We still need to build more gravity batteries. Which district is that technically? That's Beaveroman, right? So we can keep on doing this. another quick interlude. I've just played around with how we can manage to hide the battery below a mountain. Obviously this is not yet working, but in the next update we should be able to put dirt on that, on the overhang, and then we could hide that under a mountain ridge or something. So yeah, that's the plan, to do it like this. Got stranded beavers again. Oh, great. How did I manage to do that again? Come on. Upward power shaft, be gone. We have officially reached the maximum height here with our staircase, which should now speed up the building process, maybe? Does it? We'll see. The ancient Beaveromans can now help via, you know, this arm. I've paused some of the construction so that the path remains. Forest has grown. I think this gives this part of Beaverome quite another, you know, flavor, different charm. Looks nice. Also from over here, looks like the forest would extend, you know, after where the map is over. Yeah, you know, it's starting to come together. You can start to see the shape of it. Very nice. I like it. Right arm is also taking shape. And obviously the part, well, I guess that's the part of the head. The back part of the head. Because that's where the staircase ends, obviously. Yeah, so they're building that, which is nice. We're getting there. Look at that, our forest is grown here in Beaverome. I think it looks okay-ish, you know. It was supposed to be a mixed forest out of pines and maple trees. Obviously it's not the same kind of mixed forest that we have over there, where we need the logs, you know, for building. So the oak trees are always cut down. Those will stay here, so different kinds of trees, but I think it's okay-ish. In the meantime, I have decided, or, you know, rather realized, that this is probably more than one episode. Because building this just takes so long. So I will make a cut here. We'll keep on building that guy in the next episode. Tell me what you think in the comments. Should I make, you know, a tiny colony here, a separate district? And if yes, how should we call it? You know, the keepers of the Colossus, or I don't know, something like that. So maybe, because maybe this could speed up the construction if we had people actually living right next to it. And we could still import the building materials and food and water, obviously, from other districts. Maybe we'd even, you know, have an irrigation pool and grow some crops here as well. But mainly we'd want to have people here to finish the construction of the Colossus. What do you think? Should I do that? Or is that not worth it, because that's a one-time project, and as soon as... and it just takes time for the other beavers to finish building it. So yeah, write a comment down below, and while you're there, also hit that like and subscribe buttons. That would really help a ton. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, have a good one. Bye bye.